Hello everyone, happy holidays! My name is Stephanie and I am the designer behind Lindy Stitches. I design cross-stitch patterns that make people happy, and I'm here on YouTube to once again talk about the joys of needlework. If this visual is not totally overstimulating, I don't know what is. But you're just stitching, aren't you? I'll let you know when you need to look at something. First of all, look at this sweater! This is my daughter's ugly Christmas sweater for this year. But I wish it was mine, so I went and stole it from her room. I got it at Walmart on a whim, thinking how wonderful it was. I mean, it's got sequins and jewels and skating reindeer. And brought it home, hoping she wouldn't like it so I could keep it for myself. Well, she did like it. So now I just wear it when she goes to school. Here's Mr. Willoughby. He was very popular in my last video. Look how big he's getting. He's not even 4 months old yet, and he's ginormous, and he's in his frisky mode. Okay, yeah, welcome to my Christmas. I am just not one of those people that has a gorgeous Christmas tree. And it's thanks to all of my lovely, crafty mother and mother-in-law and sister and sending me and the kids so many ornaments that who knows how this thing's even standing, you know? Like... It's just a heap of memories, and I love it. So there it is, Lightning McQueen, friends. Lightning McQueen on my Christmas tree. I have a lovely smorgasbord of Christmas holiday stuff to share. But first, let's talk about one matter of housekeeping. I want to remind you that Lindy Stitches is doing a 2021 stitch-along called Funky Menagerie. It is going to be released on New Year's Eve. The first part you can already see. You can purchase this stitch-along. Only one checkout needed. It's $12, and you will get all 4 parts of this square design filled with little funky animal motifs. Some of them are imaginary, some of them are real. The pink robin is a real thing. You should definitely look it up. And I want to know if anyone, do you know what this is? It is an actual creature. I found out about it this year, and I about wet my pants because not only is it awesome in real life, it has the best name I've ever heard for a creature. Do you know what it is? Do not guess if you have already heard from me. Anybody? The first person that guesses correctly, I'll send you a prize. So that's Funky Menagerie. You can also buy a copy for a friend. There's a special checkout option for that. You can find all the details on my website, lindystitches.com. So that is going to be fun in 2021. Let's have some fun in 2021. All right, let's see 2 things that I've started and haven't shown you. Bah Humbug by Park Hopper Bart. Mr. Bart Dunn created this pattern. I released it in my last newsletter. I originally saw it in his stories and said, "That's so cute. Please allow me to pay you to put it in my newsletter and share it with people." And he was very gracious and said yes. And it's adorable. It's really small. You can stitch it in 1 really long stitching session or 2 medium-sized sessions or 5. You get the point. It's small. It's wonderful. I stitched mine on 40 count. If you stitch it on 40 count, you can fit it into a 3x3 frame. I love mini frames. Hobby Lobby has a very addictive section of their frames that are all tiny and cute, and I've purchased several of them. Haven't used any of them, and I saw this pattern and was like, yes! Because it's adorable. It looks antique. I love Gothic letters. I don't need to tell you anymore. So if you're interested in this pattern, it is on Bart's Gumroad page. I will link it down below. If you stitched this for free via my newsletter, I would also suggest it was a free gift, because it wasn't free for Bart to create. Throw Bart a couple dollars on his Gumtree page if you had fun stitching it. Why not? Bless someone else. Continue the circle of blessing. That's bah humbug. And bah humbug to you. Another thing that I had to immediately stitch was Heart in Hand, Cecilia Turner's Oh By Gosh By Golly ornament, because I just love the song. Lovely, lovely song, and it's an adorable piece. I originally was going to try to stitch this for 6 strands of floss over 4 on an even weave, because I wanted it to be as big as possible. And I started stitching it that way, and it looked so kitschy. I know. You're looking at me in this sweater in front of this tree thinking, wait a minute. Don't you love kitschy? Yes, I do. But I don't know. There was just something about it that I wasn't digging it. I wasn't enjoying stitching it. I don't know. I would love to see some sort of way that I could stitch this huge. But I don't know what it would be. So I just stitched it over 28 count. So it is kind of a huge ornament. Like, this to me is too big. She calls for 36 count, which would make it a normal ornament size. But I wanted it to be big. I'm going to make it, I think, into a stand-up. So I can put it, like, on a shelf with my little Christmas nesting dolls or something, you know, with my other kitschy things. I love this. It was really fun. Super quick. Very quick. The stitch count is quick. You don't care what the stitch count is. Oh by gosh, by golly. Adorable. Another thing I started, the Prairie Schooler bug bit me. I don't know where it came from, because I am not, like, I like Prairie Schooler. I think their patterns are very cute and classic. For some reason, they've never made it into my stash or my whip pile. I don't know. Just never really felt it. The one Prairie Schooler pattern that I have stitched, I pulled out to re-show you because it's the owl and the pussycat. I did change the colors because they sail in a pea green boat, so come on. So cute. But I think just Instagram, I had to, I don't know. Number one, I was like all about looking at all the Prairie Schooler patterns in the world and messaging Barbie at Petal Pusher. I'll link her down below. She is my resident Prairie Schooler expert that I text and say, what's this? What's this chart from? Where do I get this? And she answers all my questions. I'm sorry, Barbie. And Santa. I don't know, like, I've never been a Santa person. I mean, I did Santa as a child, and I enjoyed that whole... It was fun, you know? It was a lot of fun. But I've never been like a decorate with Santa but this year, I don't know, I was just like, Santa. Santa! I know him! So I started Must Be Santa. This was a 2009 kit. It's now released as a chart, and I don't know, I have a thing for like houses where the windows are like little scenes or cut through houses. Very nice. And here's my start. Isn't that cute? I love the black sky, and it's gonna be adorable. Hello, it's editing Steph from the future. This video is incredibly cobbled together. Because of people like this, I had to keep re-recording things. In reality, I should have put him in a closet. But look at him, he's so cute. How can you put that in a closet? In addition, a couple of the files got corrupted or something. The things. So I'm going to show you the two things that somehow went into the ether, never to be seen again, and I'm going to stick them in here. Secondly, editing Steph noticed how close we were during that entire conversation. I'm sorry. I wanted to talk to you about this whip, and I already did talk to you about it, but you weren't here. You didn't show up. Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. This was going to be an heirloom Christmas piece that I had grand plans for. I was going to do one square every year and then have this sampler of Christmas memories. I have decided to give up on this project with much heartache. I just picked the wrong fabric, and I was trying to make it work. I thought it could work. It's not going to work. I finished the block for this year. You know, sometimes you can march forward, make some tweaks, and make things work. This was just not one of those things. I chose Weeks Dye Works Cappuccino, and if you can't see the problem, it's the orange fabric that I chose, so I ruined it. It's just too orange. I made some changes. This was going to be my 2020 we moved house, and no, our house doesn't look like this. I'd like it if our house looked like this and I had peacocks everywhere, but alas and alack. Even bought the Thread Gatherer Snow color just because I love stitching with Thread Gatherer, not because I needed it. I was being indulgent, and I wanted this to work. This was a lesson in don't be hasty. I just started it on this color because this, I mean, you need a huge piece of fabric, and I didn't have huge pieces of fabric in every nook and cranny the way I'd like to. And I just thought, oh, I can make this work. No, you can't. I was even hanging this. It's especially now that I have all my Christmas decor out, and I know what colors I like and what colors I decorate with. Here's my stockings hung, whoa, by the chimney with care. That's the other ugly Christmas sweater I was wearing this morning. But I like aquas, bright reds, and blues, and not that I'm super picky, but I could not see, even if this was filled with lovely, luscious holiday colors, it's still a big piece of orange fabric, and I cannot imagine having this big piece of orange fabric with my other Christmas stuff hanging on the wall. I can't even imagine paying for a frame for this big orange piece of fabric. So, though it breaketh my heart, I think I will probably cut it off and just make it. I might actually have a frame that would work. I'm just gonna make it a small little piece that I can hang on the wall. I can deal with this much orange. That's Christmas in Hawk Run Hollow. Moving on. I also missed a piece of haul. I don't know where that video footage went, but I picked up Silver Creek Samplers, my Christmas list. I love this piece. Let me tell you why I love this piece. My favorite part. Pies and cookies, old Saint Nick. Peace and goodwill, peppermint stick. Peace and goodwill, peppermint stick. I think it's I don't know why I think that's funny. This is really sweet and lovely, and I would like to stitch it. Back to our regularly scheduled program. I worked on 2 other projects since I saw you last. Speaking of abandoned projects, I abandoned this one and then decided I was being too hasty. This is Heartstring Sampleries. I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm. It was not a fault of the pattern at all. It is a lovely pattern. I decided to stitch it on 25 count over 1, and I, turns out, hate stitching that way, and so it was more of an experience thing that I was rebelling against. But I decided I think I can push through. I am almost halfway down, and so I can just suck it up and finish the project. It's going to be little and sweet and lovely, even though I'm struggling with the process. So I'm stitching this on 25 count Rose Merita linen by Under the Sea Fabrics. It is a very, very light pink, peachy pink. And it's beautiful, and it's tiny. Look how tiny it is. And it's going to look so good in a little tiny silver frame on my wall, and that is the only thing that's keeping me going. It's just something about the big, fat 25 count linen threads and the small stitching with 1 strand. I don't like it, and you are not welcome to play with it. Kitty purr ASMR. Can you hear that? The other project that I worked on is Dame's Boarding School by Exemplar Dames. And it's this funky sampler. I love it. The colors are so bizarre. I am using either the called for colors or something that is really similar. And I am stitching this on my lap stand. These recently got popular in my shop again. I think someone posted on Instagram or something. But this is my PVC pipe lap stand. It's lightweight, it's easy to use, it's easy to assemble. And there's where I am. It's pretty random, right? It's pretty random. I'm stitching this on XJU Design linen. It's an exclusive with Kitten Stitcher called Farm Eggs. It's a splotchy fabric. It's a really nice fabric to stitch on. I should get more XJU Design linen because it's lovely. Alright, what we have left is giveaway and what I ended up purchasing. Let's do the giveaway. This is going to be very quick. So the winners of the Walter signed copies of Cats Love Christmas, you can see that Walter signed it right there, is Janita Bosma and Chris Yu. And so if you want to email me your addresses, I will get you these very special copies of the chart. Cats Love Christmas has been really popular on Instagram, and I thank you. I love every day logging in and seeing someone's finish. I did not... It's funny. I don't... Sometimes I have predictions that are correct about my releases, like which one will be more popular, how people might respond to it, things like that. And sometimes I'm surprised. I'm surprised at how many I've seen of accident-free days. There's a lot of cats out there that are doing a great job of defending the Christmas tree from real and imaginary threats, and I thank those cats for their diligence in keeping the holidays safe. This video's giveaway is going to be a piece of fabric from Yarn Tree. I'm going to do 2 people. Yarn Tree often sends me samples for my designs, and I have used a lot of... Naturally, there's a cat playing with everything on the floor. I've used a lot of their fabrics they've sent me. They sent me that sparkle gray linen, the splash mint Lugana. I think I've used almost everything they've sent me. So I'm very grateful for their support of my designs, but they sent me these 2 that I know I personally will never use because they're 40 count, and 40 count is not my preference, and they are opalescent. And they're really trippy. They're very pretty, and I just know that I'll never use these, so I'd like to pass them on. If you could leave a comment and just say the word, use the color green or blue. I don't know, maybe talk about your preferred Christmas colors or whatever. Put it in a sentence. I will just be searching for green or blue, and then I will give these away next video. I have a sleepy kitty under the tree. There's always a cat napping under the tree, and I love it. My grandpa actually made this train set, and my grandma gave it to me, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, but I've never been able to get it out just because there was so much Christmas clutter in my last house. And I got it out for the first time this year, and I think it looks great. My son drags it around, and then the cats drag the coal everywhere. The coal is just some sort of rock. I think it's non-toxic. Don't actually know, but choo choo. Okay, Willoughby is being very naughty, and I've taken a couple takes now, and he's just being a real stinker. Prairie Schooler, the night before Christmas, made its way into my stash because look at it. Look at the little scenes. There's something about the night before Christmas, the motifs and like the artwork that goes along with the poem, especially I in my nightcap. And mon or cap, is that what it is? I don't know why, I just love it. And like the ambiance, I love the ambiance of Christmas Eve after you put the kids to bed, and it's like, it's cozy, it's dark, it's magical. It's just magical. I usually cry on Christmas Eve. Literally, I cry. After the kids are in bed and everyone's cozy. It's probably because I ate too much that night, but I get real emotional and I cry. Because it's just so beautiful. So, I ended up with the night before Christmas. Anybody want to start this on Christmas Eve? Anybody? Let's do it. Let's start it on Christmas Eve. If you would like to, come shoot me a message. Let's do it. The night before Christmas. So everyone seems a little bit crazy for Seraphim fabrics lately, so I went on and ordered a few pieces for myself. They are all blues and greens, 32 or 36 count linen, because I am looking for a blue or a green for 2 pieces I'm releasing at market, and I'm I'm having a hard time. So I ordered these 5 pieces. I don't think any of them are going to make it into the lineup, but I'm definitely glad to have them in my stash. I'll just go through them really quickly. They're all beautiful. They all have quite a bit of modeling. This is Water Spirit, and it's a 36 count. I think it's really pretty. But you can see there's a lot going on. I feel like this one reminds me of Highland by Picture This Plus, which is a fabric that I'm very interested in charting on, so I'm glad I got this one. Picture This Plus is having difficulties like we all are. This one is Stonewashed, reminds you of some, oh my gosh, the cats are both here now. Great, they're probably gonna have WrestleMania in the midst of all my stuff. This reminds you of like Stonewashed jeans from the 90s. All of them have like yellow or brownish modeling except for one. Earth Angel. This is Sea Spray. I think this one is really pretty. And this is the one that has white and gray modeling, not any yellow or brown. This is called Nantucket Eve. So I recently took a fabric poll in my Lindy Stitchers Facebook group. You can join that down below. This is what we got going on. Right. I took a fabric poll to just figure out, I tried to get a good idea of what the people that stitch my patterns in particular like stitching on, because we hear this narrative a lot in the cross stitch world of you start off with Aida and you end up on 40 count linen, as if it's like some sort of graduation process or like climbing the grades, getting more expert. And certainly 40 count linen takes some skill to be able to stitch on. I am not denying that. But we all do have different preferences, and that's preached a lot here on Flosstube too. Just use what you like, use what you enjoy. I've found myself I really like 32 or 36 count linen. That's just my preference. It's not that I think anything looks better, but I do want to serve people the best that I can. So I've kind of carried my designs along with my preferences, because that's what happens. You design and you use what you like, but I need to keep it in mind that my preferences are not necessarily even what the majority of my audience wants to stitch on. I was shocked that should I tell you what one, or should I make you go look? I'll just tell you that Even Weave, as in Jobelin or Lugana, won first and second place over linen. So I'm just trying to I'm trying to decide what that means for my choices in fabric as a designer and just how to please people. And I know that a lot of stitchers are very adept at just knowing how to take a design and put it on what they like. I'm not saying that you need me to hold your hand. You don't. But I am definitely going to be trying to provide more fabric alternatives. So if it's, whatever I call for, be it 32 or 36 count linen or I do design on Even Weave as well. Beach Dance was on Even Weave. Strutting Tom is on, I have pieces on Even Weave. I feel like I'm blathering. I want to give more fabric alternatives is what I'm saying. So it's stitched on this. However, this and this would work. And I've expanded my resources to have more swatches of more manufacturers' fabrics. I have invested in some tools that are going to help me to do that. All that to say, I'm going to be branching out and giving you more options, and I'm going to be stocking some more Aida in my store, because there are a lot of Aida stitchers out there, a lot, and they need not be belittled or forgotten. And that is my fabric soapbox. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. The last thing I have to show you, I'm so excited about, and speaking of kitsch, speaking of my kitschy ways, I saw this on 1884 Stitchery, and I bought it as pretty much as soon as I could. There's something about this piece that just said my name, and I got up my credit card. No, I bought this for a song. It was ridiculous. McKenna, you should have been charging like way more. I would have paid way more. Save the stitches. Get out of town. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Oh my goodness. It's all hummingbirds, and the hummingbirds are done with sparkly threads. And there's like 6 of them. Oh my gosh. Who wouldn't hang this in their home? Really? Would you not hang this in your home? What I love about this is it reminds me of Florida. We go to Florida every year, and we stay in these condos. We get a deal. We're not like high rollers, like, oh, I'm going to my condo. We get these deals. We stay in these condos in Florida, and they always have cheesy palm tree art in them. So cheesy. I love it. I love it. The last place we stayed had this like chandelier above. Now when I'm saying chandelier, like bump that image down a little bit. I had this light fixture above the dining room table that had like these little, you know how they have those like little lamps with lampshades, and they were like made out of this like rattan. I mean, it was the cheesiest, corniest thing. I love it. I don't know. It's because like you're on vacation. Why not stay, why not live up the palm tree art? I'm sure if I lived in Florida, I'd be like, oh my gosh, would you stop? But this reminded me of kitschy Florida wall art, only it's so much better because it's stitched. It's all stitched. I love it. Alright, here are a few previous Christmas finishes. Let's not joke around. These are pretty much the only pieces I get out that I have finished. I haven't done a lot of Christmas projects, and the cat's laying on it. Let's start with this one before the cat lays on it again. This. I love this piece so much. This is, what is it even called? Christmas Sampler Season something by Cooler Design Studio. They have these huge pieces for each season. This is the Christmas winter piece. I absolutely love it. I adopted it from Nell at Little Yellow House Crafts. She had completed the stitching, but not the back stitch. Well, she completed the top half of the stitching and then back stitched up to here, I think. And I adopted it. She offered it to me, and I said, yes, are you kidding me? So then I back stitched her work up here, and then I finished the bottom. I made the Santa brown, and I adore this piece because it's gorgeous. And I got this frame for, I think, $14 from my framer because it was already made up. She was trying to get rid of it, and I said, you gotta be kidding me. It's perfect, it's lovely. And I think of Nell. I get so many questions about this piece all the time. Most of the time it's asking about the stitch count and what size fabric you need. I roll my eyes because you can figure it out. This is the Brooks Books Advent Animals. They are free patterns on her website, and they're all individual, so I put them all together 5 by 5, and they are adorable. They were a lot of fun. I plunged through it in 1 year. I think I did about 2 squares every month, and they're quick-ish stitches. You know, they're not a day's project by any means, but they are a lot of fun. My favorite will forever be the camel because she has toenail polish. So yeah, these are free patterns on the Brooks Books publishing site, and you can go find those yourself. And then this is my Margaret Sherry piece called Festive Friends, and it is from an issue of Cross Stitch. Ooh, The World of Cross Stitch from a few years ago. I will actually put the issue down below because I just found it again in my stash, and I just think this is adorable. I love Margaret Sherry. Her pieces are a lot of fun to stitch. I hope you're enjoying your holidays. Guess what I bought this week? I bought my child a new front tooth for Christmas. Because 10-year-old boys are a destructive force, and they live their lives with full gusto, even if it includes their teeth. So the cats, for the most part, have behaved themselves, only every now and then, like just now, you will find a present that's been scratched open. This one is to me. So, any guesses on what that is? Gonna have to tape that up. Or am I? The Webbs here at home in our household are celebrating 7 days of Christmas. My husband wanted to just go all out this year, so we have 7 days of Christmas activities, parties, crafting planned, which is why I have this ridiculous sweater. And we're gonna have a great time. What I've been all into is hot chocolate. I cannot stop drinking hot chocolate. I can't stop drinking hot chocolate. And the problem is, it's bad for you, number one. Number two, I have to put mini marshmallows on the top. Number three, I don't drink it fast enough, so it doesn't stay hot. So halfway through the cup, I have to go heat it up again. And then you better believe I re-marshmallow it, because why wouldn't I? It's bad. I have to stop. I have to stop. Anyone know of a hot chocolate patch I could put on my arm, because it's so good. I hope that you and your family have very happy holidays. I am going to be back for my 2020 wrap-up video. At first I was thinking, I'm just going to skip it this year. I'm not in the mood. I'm not feeling it. Well, the New Year's spirit is starting to hit, and I do love a good wrap-up. I do love a good planning session, although planning feels like a metaphysical burden. Is that the right word? Metaphysical. Existential burden right now. There's a planning and goals and live your best life by creating lists sort of YouTube channel that I watch here, and I'm not going to say who it is because I'm going to right now talk about how they annoyed me. But the maker just put out a video. Every year they put out tons of videos around New Year's time, and I love it because it's like, plan your life this way, plan your life that way, set goals for this, make a vision board. I eat up that stuff. Not that it's improved my life dramatically, but just because, I don't know, I like planning, whatever. So they blasted around New Year's time, and the maker just started doing this again, because they do it every year. And I just found myself annoyed because on the one hand, yeah, I want to be hopeful. I want to plan the things. On the other hand, all of my plans have been changed so many times this year, and it's bleeding into next year. I think that's why it annoyed me, because it was like, aren't you going to address the fact that none of our planning has worked? So how can I go into next year with this la-di-da spirit? So that's where I'm at. I am ending this year very thankful and happy and satisfied, and at the same time it has been very tiring, and I'm tired. But I do want to give thanks and talk about the things that have happened, the good things that have happened, and be hopeful but realistic about what next year might look like. So meet me back for that. Definitely sign up for Funky Menagerie. It's going to be fun, and I hope that we can count on that, at least a little fun stitch along. And also let me know if you want to start Night Before Christmas with me Christmas Eve. Thanks for joining me. Happy holidays. Stay tuned for cat videos. Talk to you later. Bye.